Rebound deflected right to Looney. Back to Curry, loads up another one. Got it! A relocation three to open the NBA Finals. Ahead to Curry. Curry comes middle over the shoulder to Thompson. Fires for three. Got it! 8-6. The Warriors lead by 2.
They leave Curry all alone, and that's lethal.
Screen by Looney. 3-ball on the way. Got another one! Stephen Curry has 11 points in the first 6 minutes and 5 seconds of the finals. Curry fades, fires, and hits a three!
Somebody throw water on Steph Curry.
Number 30 is back in the finals.
Every dynasty has an expiration date. But for the Golden State Warriors, the end wasn't some sudden collapse. It was a slow, painful, and very public unraveling. The trio of Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green didn't just play basketball. They changed it forever. They won 4 championships and captured the imagination of the entire world. But now, with Klay gone and the other two staring down the twilight of their careers, you have to ask, was that the final chapter of one of the greatest stories ever told in sports? To really get the weight of this moment, you have to go back to the beginning. It didn't start with a bang. It started with a series of quiet, smart draft picks that would accidentally change the course of NBA history. First, it was Steph Curry in 2009, the guard from Davidson everyone said was too small. Then Klay Thompson in 2011, the quiet assassin. And finally, Draymond Green in 2012, the second-round afterthought who became the team's heart and soul. On their own, they were good. Together, they were a revolution. They didn't just win games. They rewired how you're supposed to play. Led by Curry's ridiculous range and Klay's picture-perfect catch-and-shoot, the Splash Brothers kicked off a three-point storm that stretched defenses past their breaking point. Draymond was the engine, a defensive genius and fiery playmaker who connected everything. Their strength in numbers motto, perfected by coach Steve Kerr, created this beautiful flowing offense that was somehow both unstoppable and just plain joyful to watch. The league had no answers. 4 rings in 8 years is one thing, but the stats don't capture the magic. They won the title in 2015, then went on that insane 73-win run in 2016. They became a full-on super team when Kevin Durant showed up, winning back-to-back championships in 2017 and 2018. They were on top of the world, a golden dynasty that really felt like it could last forever. But in pro sports, forever has a funny way of ending. The first real crack in the armor came in the 2019 NBA Finals against Toronto. That series was brutal. It wasn't defined by who won, but by what the Warriors lost. In Game 5, Kevin Durant, who had been pushing his body to the absolute limit, tore his Achilles. Then, in Game 6, Klay Thompson tore his ACL. The Warriors lost the title, and a few weeks later, KD was gone, off to Brooklyn. In just a handful of days, their invincibility was gone. The dynasty wasn't just beaten, it was broken. Klay's injury cost him 2 full seasons, a devastating blow for a guy in his prime. Curry broke his hand just 5 games into the next season, which pretty much killed any hope of competing. The once mighty Warriors crashed to the bottom of the league, finishing with a miserable 15-50 record. The years of deep playoff runs and the physical toll had finally caught up. The golden era was over, replaced by a harsh and very uncertain reality. The years that followed were a grind. They showed how resilient they were, but it was also a flashing red light of their mortality. The front office tried to do the impossible, build a bridge to the future while keeping the championship window open. They called it straddling 2 timelines. It was a balancing act that, honestly, had mixed results. They drafted young talent, but trying to develop those guys alongside an aging, expensive core was tough. And then came the 2022 championship. It was this spectacular, defiant last stand. Against all the odds, the original trio got back together and climbed the mountain one last time, taking down the Boston Celtics. It was pure triumph, a moment that proved their greatness all over again. A lot of people thought, they're back. But really, it was the beautiful, final sunset. The next couple of seasons were a slow decay. Andrew Wiggins, who was so critical to that 2022 title, couldn't find that same fire consistently. Draymond Green's volatility on the court led to suspensions that really hurt the team. And Klay Thompson, even with flashes of the old Klay, struggled to be the elite two-way player he once was. The aging core, which used to be able to carry the team on its back, now needed more help than the roster could give them. The West just got younger, faster, and stronger, and for the first time, it felt like the Warriors were being left behind. The 2023-24 season felt like the end of the road. The team was up and down, and that old magic just wasn't there. It all came to a head in a play-in tournament loss to the Kings, where Klay Thompson, in what would be his last game in a Warriors uniform, went scoreless. An 0-4-10 night. That image was just a gut-wrenching final note for a legendary career in blue and gold. In the summer of 2024, the thing nobody wanted to see happen, happened. Klay Thompson, after 13 years and 4 rings, left the Warriors and signed with the Dallas Mavericks. The longest-tenured trio in the league was officially over. It was emotional. Steph said playing without Klay was a reality he never wanted to imagine. Draymond admitted he might have dropped a tear or two, but was ultimately happy for his brother because, in his words, Klay wasn't happy here anymore. It was a sad, messy, and painfully human ending to a story that usually felt like a fairy tale. The Splash Brothers were no more. The end of the Klay, Steph, and Draymond era is a massive moment in NBA history. It's a story about loyalty, legacy, and the cold, hard business of basketball. What do you think was the defining moment of their incredible run? Let me know down in the comments, and if you're liking this breakdown, make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that shaped the NBA. With Klay gone, the front office had no choice but to turn the page. That whole two timelines idea was dead. Now, it's all about one thing: survival and squeezing every last drop out of what's left of Steph Curry's prime. The youth movement isn't a side project anymore. It's the main event. Guys like Jonathan Kuminga, Brandon Podziemski, Moses Moody, and Tracy Jackson-Davis are no longer just prospects. They are the essential support. Their growth is everything. As Jackson-Davis put it, the young guys bring a needed energy, saying, "Having youth, being able to get out and run, that's a huge thing that coach talked about." Obviously, the veterans are getting older. The team signaled this shift in a big way in February 2025, when they made their most aggressive move yet. They traded a future first-round pick to the Miami Heat to acquire veteran forward Jimmy Butler, fundamentally changing the team's DNA. The message was clear: they are all in on building a winner around Curry, even if it looks completely different. This new roster is a fascinating mix. You've still got the championship core of Curry and Green, but now you add the grit and grind toughness of Jimmy Butler, plus a whole group of young, athletic players trying to make their mark. This isn't the free-flowing, three-point heavy machine anymore. This is a team being rebuilt for defense, for toughness, and for a more deliberate style of basketball designed to ease the load on a 37-year-old Steph Curry. So, let's circle back. Is this the end of the Warriors' championship era? The era of Curry, Thompson, and Green, the dynasty that changed the game, is absolutely, unequivocally over. That legacy is locked in. They didn't just win. They transformed the court and inspired a whole generation. But is the window for any championship closed for Golden State? That's a much more complicated question. Steph Curry is still defiant, pointing out he's been hearing the end of the dynasty talk for years, even before they won it all in 2022. The team around him is now built to win differently, with a tougher, more grinding style led by guys like Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green. They're betting that Curry's magic, combined with new veteran leadership and the energy from their young players, can be enough for one more real run. It's a huge gamble. Maybe it's a brilliant retool that keeps Curry in the hunt for a few more years. Or maybe it's just a final, desperate grab at glory before a full teardown is the only option left. The golden age is over, but for the Golden State Warriors, the final chapter is still being written. And as long as Steph Curry has the ball in his hands, you can never, ever count them out. What do you think the future holds for the Warriors? Can this new-look roster actually compete for a title? Drop your predictions in the comments section. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more NBA analysis.